In this video, we're going to show you how to replace a condenser and receiver dryer on your Scion IA. This is going to be located in the front of the vehicle. Let's get started. Before completing your repair, be sure to bring your car down to the local shop and have them evacuate your AC system. We're going to drain our coolant just a little bit, so we're going to go under the car and open this panel. Using a 7mm socket, remove the screw, slide straight forward, and remove the panel. Looking up inside of that panel, we're going to have a petcock for our radiator. Go ahead and twist this open and start to drain your coolant. Be sure you have a drain pan under you before you open the petcock. Fluid will come out. Once you've drained enough fluid that it's not going to come out of your upper radiator hose when you take it off, go ahead and close your petcock. Install the panel into place, slide it back, get the screw started, and snug it down. Using a 10mm socket, remove the 2 bolts. Remove the mass airflow sensor connector, push on the tab, pull straight back, remove the connector. Using a 7mm socket, loosen the clamp. Push the intake hose off of the box. Remove the air intake assembly. Using a 10mm socket, we're going to remove the bolt for the coolant reservoir. I'm going to use a pair of pinch-offs and pinch off my overflow hose. Pull the hose off of the radiator. You may have some fluid that comes out, but it shouldn't be much. Unhook the hose. Remove the overflow bottle. We're going to go through and remove all of the plastic clips. Using a trim tool, pop them out. We have one more on the bottom right here. And one last one, actually. Remove the connector, push on the tab, remove the connector. We have one more connector all the way on the bottom of our fan assembly. The push tab is all the way on bottom. You're going to push on it, pull straight back, remove that connector, and pull that harness up out of the way. We have 4 10mm bolts holding our fan onto our radiator. Using a 10mm socket, remove the 4 bolts. There's going to be 2 up top and then 2 down below. Our 10mm on bottom is right next to our lower radiator hose. Do the same thing on the other side. And then get the one down below. Using a pair of pliers, we're going to pitch the clamp on the top radiator hose. We're going to pull that back. I'm going to break the seal around that hose with a pick. I'm going to pull that upper radiator hose back. I'm going to slowly take it off to try and make sure that my coolant is low enough that it's not going to spill out. Then I'm going to tuck it up behind our intake tube so it's higher than what the coolant is in the motor. So remove the radiator fan. I'm going to use a glove and a zip tie. I'm going to put the glove over that upper radiator hose port. I'm going to slide my zip tie over it and snug it down. I'm going to do this to try and not lose any coolant when we push this assembly back. If you removed your radiator cap, go ahead and reinstall it. Push down on the tab and pull straight back and remove the lock. Do the same thing on the other side. Using a 10mm socket, remove the bolts for the AC lines. We're going to give the line a little twist and pull straight up. That noise right there was the vacuum that the machine pulled when they evacuated the refrigerant. Push the radiator assembly back. Using a 10mm, remove the 2 bolts. Do the same thing on the other side. We're going to push that radiator assembly back. We're going to pick it up slightly so it dislodges from the bottom and slide it back. We have 2 more bolts on the bottom of our condenser that we need to get. It's just 2 more 10 mils. We're going to reach our arm in, down through this cutout. We have a 10mm bolt on either bottom of our condenser. Go ahead and remove those bolts. Do the same thing on the other side. With all the bolts removed, we can drop our condenser forward. Remove the condenser from the vehicle. Pull your radiator assembly back and get it started into the grommets. Do this on both sides. Now your radiator shouldn't move side to side. It should only move front and back. Grab your condenser. Push that radiator assembly back. And when you do this, you want to be sure that you're not hitting any of the fins on any plastic or metal, bending them in any sort of way. Get the condenser installed. There's 2 tabs on the radiator for locating. We're going to get our top bolt started. We're going to reach down and get our 10mm bolt started in the bottom of the condenser. Snug down the bolt. Do the same thing on the other side. And make sure that radiator drops back into that stay. We're going to replace the O-rings that are on our AC lines. We're going to use a small pick, and we're going to get under that O-ring, and we're going to pop it off the line. When you do this, you want to be sure not to score the line or create any scratches in it. If you have a bit of PAG oil or compressor oil, go ahead and put it on your finger and roll it around on the new O-ring. And go ahead and install it. Do the same thing on the other line. Pop that O-ring off. A little bit of PAG oil on your finger. Roll it around. And install the O-ring. Make sure your grommets are installed on top of your radiator assembly on both sides. We're going to install our clips. Push them into place. Do the same thing on the other side. Remove the cap to the condenser and get your line installed. Get the bolt installed into the line. Do the same thing for the other one. Snug the bolts down. Torque the bolts to 9 foot-pounds. Install the fan assembly down into the vehicle. Get all 4 bolts started. and the two on bottom. With all the bolts started, go around and snug them down. Grab your harness and drop it down. We're going to bring it all the way over and get our connector installed. Push button was on bottom. Push until you hear a click. If you don't hear a click, give it a pull. Make sure it's locked on. Follow the harness up, installing the plastic stays into the fan. If your connector popped out, just slide it back down into place. It'll click into place. Pull your connector over and get it installed. Push until you hear a click. Give it a pull. Make sure it's locked on. Install that plastic stay. And do the same for the side of the fan. Get the 3 stays installed. Using a pair of cutters, I'm going to cut off my wire tie and remove my glove. Pull the coolant hose down and around and get it installed onto the radiator. Make sure it's fully seated. Grab your pliers and pinch that clamp. Get it installed. Install the coolant tank. Be sure it fully seats. I'm going to push my hose into the clamps, install it onto the radiator. We can remove our pinch-offs. Install the 10mm bolt. Snug it down. Install the intake assembly. Drop it down onto the 2 posts in the back and the 1 in front. Install the bolts. Snug them down. Grab your mass airflow sensor connector and install it onto the sensor. Push until you hear a click. If you don't, give it a pull. Make sure it's locked on. Install the intake boot onto the intake. Snug down the clamp. The last thing we have to do is top off and bleed our radiator. To do this, we are going to remove the cap. And we're going to install a funnel. This funnel will lock into the radiator, so it won't move on me. Using the manufacturer specified coolant, go ahead and top off the system. Once you've topped off your coolant, we're going to get into our car and we're going to start it. We're going to turn our fans on, and we're going to wait until our cooling fan turns on. Top the fluid off as needed while the car runs. Once your cooling fans have turned on and there's no more bubbles coming up through your funnel, we're going to go ahead and remove our funnel. I'm going to pinch my upper radiator hose so a little bit of fluid comes out. Install my stopper, and then remove my funnel. We're going to remove the rest of our funnel and install our radiator cap. Once you're done bleeding your coolant, take a look at your overflow bottle. We want to make sure this is topped off and at the full mark. Once you're done with this repair, bring your car down to the local shop and have them recharge your AC system.
When only the best will do, demand TRQ. The only company that lets you view before you do. TRQ is committed to offering the highest quality aftermarket auto parts that are engineered for peace of mind. Thanks for using and viewing with TRQ.